Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of Focus on the Legacy. My name is Petrina Turner, and I am a financial stewardship coach, a mom, a wife, a sister, a cousin, a friend, and I blog about our family's journey to attaining financial freedom by way of getting out of debt, saving for a rainy day, and using our gifts, skills, and talents to be able to generate additional streams of income, while also focusing on our values and our faith. And I am excited today for our first episode. I get to welcome in my sister cousin, Alisha Johnson, and we will be talking about just some traditions that we have that was given to us pretty much from our extended family, our grandparents and down to our parents, and even the importance of building and leaving a legacy. So this is all about just chatting, having a normal conversation. We have been with each other. We're missing my sister, but we have been with each other, all three of us, of course, all of our lives through everything from marriage to kids to college to everything, new jobs, everything. So this is kindergarten, school, everything. So we want to we've been talking about this for literally years. About trying to have some type of a platform to let people in, moms particularly, to be able to listen in on some of the conversations that we have as sisters when it comes to just life and balancing life and raising kids and having a career while still trying to be a good wife and a helpmate. So this is part of the conversation, and that's what we'll be focusing on even on today. The importance of tradition, building, and leaving a legacy. So welcome, Alisha.
Thank you.
So Lish, okay.
Yes.
So I am 10 months older than you. I'm the oldest.
Yes.
But a little background on us. We are from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. And literally, we grew up pretty much on the same block. We could see your house from our driveway. So we have been together forever. I mean, even when we moved away from Cincinnati, you still came and spent a couple of weeks with us during the summer particularly when we were younger. So I want you to explain who you are, what you do, how long you've been married, how many kids you have and their ages, and also use one word to describe the season that you would say that you're in currently.
All right. I'm Alisha Johnson, as you mentioned earlier. I am currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a professional consultant to help community agencies do their best work in the communities and to Trina,
yeah.
to achieve their proposed outcomes.
Okay.
I am married to Prince. I've been married for 10 years. I have a daughter named Allison. She's 8. I have a son, Brendan. He's 6. And at this point in my life, I feel as if I am in the season of transformation.
Oh, that's a good one. Why did you pick transformation?
This has been a long process for me, but I think at this point in my life, I know that there is more for me to do. And I feel that there are some gentle steps or maybe gentle pushes out of where I am.
Gentle kicks.
A couple of elbows.
Yes.
To get me where I am or where I have been stuck for a while. So that's where I am now.
Okay, cool. I think, well, for those who don't know, I have been married for, I think this year will be 13 years. And we have 3 kids, 3 boys. Yes, I know, right? 3 boys, ages 9, about to be 8, and about to be 5. So kids pretty much back to back. And I, of course, am a financial stewardship coach. I also do some grant evaluation, very similar to what Alisha does. And I've just been I recently quit my 9 to 5 so that I could be more present with our family, and really work on this side hustle business that I have going on.
What do you mean by be more present?
So, okay, when I decided to go to work at my last job,
Mm-hmm.
I was still doing the whole side hustle thing. So it was so hard. Our schedule was just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we would drop off kids in the morning, go to work. The boys would be the last one, literally the last ones at after school care, because I had to pick up everybody at two different locations. So I'm trying to hurry up and rush and pick everybody up by 6 o'clock. And they had sports. So we would have to run home, change, go to sporting event or go to sports practice, try to figure out what we're going to eat, because by the time we get home it's like 8:30, so I didn't have time to cook. So we're trying to determine who has what today. Mondays, half off wings on one place. Wednesdays, buy one get one free kids meal at another place. So that was our schedule, and we literally did not have time to really be present. I mean, we were, getting out of debt, paying down a whole ton of debt. But one of the things that, we like to talk about is, we not only want to leave a financial legacy, but we want to leave a legacy where our kids can remember that we were there, we were present, and we want to be intentional about it. So I had to make a hard decision and decide that I was going to come home and focus on the side hustles. And it's been great. I do miss my twice a month check, but I am grateful that I'm able to be home with the kids. All the work, I was telling you about homework the other day, all the homework that they have, I'm able to be here and help them. And our life is much more calmer, not as busy. Because I think when we're busy, we put that stress onto our kids too. And a lot of people are like, oh, kids don't get stressed. Yes, they do. They do get stressed. So I want their childhood to be, we were there, we were present, we did things together. We weren't always yelling and screaming because everybody's stressed, everybody's busy, but we had fun together. So that's why I would say present. Now I feel like I am more present. So yeah.
Got it.
Okay, Lish.
Yep.
First question.
Okay.
So we did a lot of things together as an extended family growing up. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, or what is your fondest memory, childhood memory that you have of our family, or tradition that we had growing up that you would like to share with us today?
You mean those that are not incriminating?
Yes, please though. Yeah, the world will see this.
I would say some of my fondest memories are our vacays to the youth conventions, and traveling every year in December. Right after Christmas, we would jump in the car, we would fly, or travel to different cities to be part of the Inspirational Youth Convention. That was through our church organization, which was also, it was just an awesome time for us to grow as individuals. We learned independent skills there because we were like free. And, but I think it was a great way to connect with other Christians who were in the same boat we were in. We learned social skills, and we just had fun learning about God and fun fellowshipping with other people. So I think those are my fondest and most consistent thoughts and memories that come up when I think about the things that we've done as kids and growing up.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. The National Inspirational Youth Convention. Yes, we learned about like singing in a choir, learned a ton of songs. I'm not going to name one.
You sure?
But, yeah, I'm not going to name that one. But yeah, I mean, and you know what I really enjoyed, because I think as we got older, we were able to see like our parents give us more freedom,
Yes.
growing up, because now we moved from being in a room with our parents, and now we have our own rooms, but we still had to be, in our a hotel room by a certain time. So it was great. We were able to learn about God from a youth perspective. They did it so that we could
Yes.
understand it, and we had fun with it. And we also met a lot of people who we pretty much grew up with, and
Across the country.
across the country. And it allowed us to be able to see different cities, travel to different cities across the country. So that was a good thing because it allowed us to travel too. And we
Yes,
went
which I
every
think is something that we have. That's one of the things that we've done as a family in general, travel.
okay.
That's something that we do in my immediate family now,
Mm-hmm.
travel. So it's kind of like one of those things that's continued. And I think it's been a great thing because it's allowed us to explore life through different just different environments and different cultures and different people. And so I think that's what I want my kids to do too.
Yep, that's a good one. I think now I'm going to tell you about my most fondest memories of our childhood, and that would be Sunday dinners.
Oh yeah, I have had them. Yes,
So
Sunday
I
dinner,
say Sunday
great.
dinners because, okay, so of course my dad was a pastor. All of us went to the same church, and of course we would very much be into watching what every single person did at church every Sunday. We would then take that, and most of the time we would go to grandpa's house every Sunday. If we didn't go to grandma and papa's house, we went out to eat. But most of the time we went to their house and brought,
Yeah.
our parents brought food and whatever, and we would eat together as a family. And then the adults would go into the family room and chit chat,
Talk,
and the
grown up talk.
grandkids, right, because we weren't allowed to be in there. But the grandkids, we would go into the living room and play church.
Where grandma
And just
had a
mimic,
piano.
yes,
Grandma had the
we had the
piano.
piano. So Marco, our cousin, would be the pastor, my dad. Jason, my brother, would be the assistant pastor. I would be the piano player slash choir director, and you
Yeah.
and Felicia would be the choir members
Choir members and or just regular church members.
or church members,
Yeah,
and we would mimic everything that happened or took place in church that Sunday, including who shouted that day
exactly. And how they shouted that day.
and how they shouted. So
Yes.
we will also have our parents come in and grandparents come in and do a show for them.
That was the best
So
part.
yes, that is like one of my fondest memories that I had growing up when we all lived together in Ohio, Sunday dinners and Sunday church.
Yes.
So, okay. So you touched a little bit on this, Lish. You said that, okay, we did a lot of traveling because we were able to go to our youth conventions. And you said as a result, that's something that you incorporated into your immediate family. Are there like other traditions that we had in our generation that you are trying to pass down to your kids?
Yes. So in addition to the traveling, we also do Sunday dinners. We
Okay.
do them at home.
Okay.
And I think our family was good on just having dinner together in general, sitting down at the table and eating together.
Yeah.
So that's something that we do at home. But lastly, we also, one thing that I'm really grateful for your parents about is that when we were growing up, we went to the same school, rode the same bus. Before we left, we would pray in the morning.
Yep.
We would hold hands and pray in the morning before we got on the bus.
Yep.
That was something I will never forget, and I'll always be grateful to your mom about, because she instilled that value in me that I didn't get in my house.
Right.
I didn't get that at home.
Yeah.
And so to this day, we understand, and my husband and I, we instill that in our kids, the value and the importance of prayer together, having a prayer life together as a family. So we pray in the morning before the kids go to school, before we, get our days really jumping.
Okay.
And then we also pray in the evenings when the kids are going to bed. And we encourage our kids to pray during the day, especially when they are in stressful times or when they don't know what to do. So that's something that we do as well.
Okay, that is a good one. So, would you say, I completely agree. I mean, I've talked about like how my mom, like when we were walking to school and kids in the neighborhood would stop by our house to pick us up or before we walked to the bus stop or wherever we were walking to, and she would make them come into our house and we would have to pray together before. I'm like, Mom, what if they don't believe
with the strangers?
Right. No, with the neighborhood kid. I'm like, what if they don't even believe in Jesus? Well, they don't believe in hey, everybody hold hands. So I am grateful. I really am grateful to my mom. You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to my mom and dad for that, for instilling that in us. And that kind of leads into the other question, like, what is our family known for? Like, when people look at us from the outside, what set of values did they see? Yes, this is what our maiden names are kids, yours Nichols before that kid. But what set of values do people, when they look at our family, what do they see? And I think the biggest thing is our faith. Like, we grew up in church, and not just grew up in church. We learned about church from going to the conventions in our house, our parents praying over us before we left, making sure that we knew who we were in God, in Christ. And, faith has been it is and has been the biggest part of our lives, hands down.
I agree.
And as a result, like you said, with my mom, like, we make sure that we do the exact same thing. Twan gets up before he goes out. He prays with me. And then while he's in the car with the boys, they're praying together. I take my youngest son, Justin, to school. He prays, and then I'll pray. And we make sure that, and Twan does a great job at before going to sleep. He'll normally read a book or have them read a book or a Bible verse or whatever. And he'll make sure that they pray before we go to sleep. So I think that is something that definitely our family has instilled in us. And honestly, although it used to get on my nerves, like having people come into the house or kids come into the house to pray, I am so grateful. Now school is crazy, so it's imperative that we pray before we send our kids to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think is another set of values that our family kind of passed down to us? I think for me, I would also say education, because we talk about this. It was never if we were going to school or going to college. It was always, where are you going to college?
Where?
Yeah.
We knew when.
Yeah, exactly.
Where. Yep.
So
yeah, I definitely agree. It was not, going to finishing high school was not a question of whether we were going to finish. It was an unstated expectation that we even knew for ourselves. We even had that for ourselves. So I think that, and even though there are some of our family members who went to college and did not finish, the whole point is that they tried. And they tried because they had that kind of, that backing and that support, but not just the support, but also the expectation, hey, you're going to go far in life, and in order to get there, you're going to have to get a good education about something.
Right.
So,
yeah, I would completely agree. Okay, so Lish.
Yes.
We always talk to each other about, like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. The kids get on my nerves. My job's getting on my nerves. Like, everything, like, we are always talking to each other about life, really.
Yes.
So, and you kind of have this background anyway. So I'm going to ask you, like, how do you balance everything? Like, what do you do specifically? This is for, like, that can help other moms. What do you do specifically to make sure that you are not going cray in the midst of all of the responsibilities we have at the time? We have young kids, so we're still, although they're not toddlers or babies, we're still doing a lot for them. So
Mhm.
how do you manage it all, and how do you kind of balance it all and while staying sane at the same time?
I don't stay sane.
Me, I'm glad I'm not the only one because I am with you.
Yeah, sometimes I think back like, who was I then? But yeah, in a nutshell, I think I always revert back to who I am. And what does that mean? Who I am. I know that I'm a very loyal person, dedicated, committed, and I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, but I think that I'm just a driver to get something done.
Right.
When I put my hands to the plow, I got to get it done. And so I think um, that coupled with understanding who I am in Him, and I know I can do it. Um, that's helpful, and in my mind, I have to constantly think. I have to coach myself to say I can do it. I just got to do it, and there are no excuses why I can't get it done. And
Mhm.
so I rely heavily on those spirit breaks when I need to go listen to a song that's going
Yeah.
to be uplifting and encouraging. I might have to step away for a second. I might have to set myself goals and say, okay, by this time I'm going to finish this particular thing. Or I know by 5 o'clock I have to go get my kids. So I know I'm just in my mind. I have to pick it back up after they go to bed. Depending on what it is. Um, but then I do rely heavily on a good balance at home with the hubster.
Right.
And and it's kind of unstated with us where, if he sees that I'm overwhelmed, and there are times when I have worked 40-hour weekends that I know that I have to lean on him in order to get the work done. And if I don't, it's just going to be a complete meltdown. And
Right.
so he will pick up um, the slack if I have any, or the things that I cannot do, just because there isn't enough time in the day.
Mhm.
Um, but oftentimes I find myself when I'm super super stressed, I have to go and spend time with myself by myself for a minute to regroup
Mhm.
and reflect and pull out, whatever I'm reading, pull out, like I said, some worship music, a word or something like that. I'll pull that out in order to make sure that I can stay, together and grounded, and not lose it. So, yeah.
That is, I would completely agree with you. I am a introverted extrovert.
I am an introvert.
Yes. And I realized with having kids that I need some alone time. And I have to, hence the reason why presently I do not homeschool my kids because need to get away and be with someone else until they get home from school. But
I'm with you. I can't.
yes, yes, I don't. Our sister Felicia homeschools her kids. God be with her. She's great with all the patience and everything.
She
But
has a special.
I think you have to first know yourself, number one. And I think this is the biggest piece of advice that I have got. I think I read this in Sarita Jake's Standing Beside Your Man, or I think that was the name of the book. But this helps me a lot. She was just saying that you have to know what season you're in, and pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, you have to know that you can't be all, do all at one time. Like, you're not going to be 100% wife, 100% mom, 100% career oriented woman, 100% house perfect all the time, 100% meals on the table all the time. You're not going to be able to do it. So
Right,
I think you have to know what season you're in,
right.
um, and try to balance it the best way you know how.
That's so true. That's so
Yeah.
true. And I think on top of that, or in a kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, is know what only you can do and only you can do well. And then if the boys can pick up the
Yes.
trash, or if Allison can wash the dishes and she's starting to do that, You
Mm-hmm.
know, then let them try until they can get it to the point where they can really do it, and then you'll be glad that it's kind of like training. You're putting them in training, and eventually they will be able to do it and take that off their plate. So
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned something else that your husband Prince, my cousin-in-law, I will say that we have great husbands. We have great husbands. They are great fathers, and I think me and Felicia were talking about this not too long ago. Like it really is a team effort. Um, they know us, we know them, and they see when we are struggling and when we
yes,
need help or when we're moody.
every day. I'm
So
just joking.
they are great when it comes to helping and assisting and making sure that things are running smooth, just like, it's a partnership. So
Yes.
I think I would agree. I think Twan does a great job at when he's home, he has a job where he coaches and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes he gets home late. When he's home, he's home. And the boys love their dad. So I think it's good to communicate and know who's doing what, and or know that this is my busy month, like you were saying. When you're busy and working 40 hours a weekend, he understands and willing to help pick up whatever it is that you would normally do. So I think that's critical.
Yes.
Like great husbands, we are helping each other out, and we can communicate that to them and them to us. Hey, friend. We were just talking about how you guys are such good husbands and fathers.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you are now officially on the blog.
You are on the blog.
Ooh.
I'm not editing that part out. Oh boy. So, Alisha,
Yeah.
what legacy, or what's the most important legacy or values that you guys are trying to instill in Allison and BJ? Like, what are you guys training and teaching? And what is so, like, when they get older and you see it, you're like, yes, we did it. What are you trying to do or instill?
I think there are a couple things. First, obviously, we want to teach our kids to put God first. I think we're training them to constantly think, what would God want me to do in this situation? How would I handle this in the best way possible? How can I be uplifting to other people? How can I serve? And I think what would be next would be how to be loyal. A sense of loyalty I think that we got from our family. And I mean, maybe loyalty in not in the sense where it's like to just die hard to do anything, but loyal to the values that you have as a person and morals and good character. And I think that the next thing would be hard work and good work ethic.
Okay.
Our grandfather
Yes.
worked his fingers to the bone.
Yes.
And really was instrumental in contributing to the whole. He was a breadwinner for a long time until Grandma got a chance to work. And actually, I think she just made herself work. But I think, with that, having a family that's been, one that has worked hard and loved hard. And I just think that those types of things are important for us to instill in our kids, because they can't depend on everyone else. They need to depend on themselves. Be independent and be led by the Lord, and not led through selfish desires and craziness out there in the world. So those are the things that I think that we want to make sure our kids, by the end, we can probably say, we did a good job.
Right. Yep. I think I would definitely agree with you. I think me and Twan, since we have boys, so hard work ethic is a priority, because we don't want to raise lazy men.
Lazy boys.
Amen. We don't want to raise any lazy boys at all.
Yes.
So, instilling in them hard work ethic. And for me, I would definitely say we want to make sure that they know their purpose.
Yes.
I think if you know your purpose, then you can do anything. You know what God created you for and what the gifts that he's giving you and the skills that he's giving you, and not only knowing your purpose, but having the faith to walk in your purpose. I think the skies are the limit. So we're trying to definitely allow them to understand and know at an early age what the purpose is, and have faith in God and walk in it. So
I agree, but you know what? That's what tradition is about, right? It's about once you begin something and you continue and you're consistent with it and you're passing it down to those who come behind you. I think that gives people a sense of purpose and identity.
Yeah.
And so I think that is all one part of one big package.
I agree. Yeah. And I say that too because when we were, when I was transitioning, my background is engineering, and I was like transitioning, I'm like, this is not what my purpose is. This is not what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life. Yeah. One of the thoughts that I had was, well, what does our family do? And when I started thinking about like what our family did and like how we were always doing something for others, we were always helping other people in one way, shape, or form. We were always, from pastoring to teaching to social work to taking care of the special needs kids, we were always helping others. And that really helped, me in focusing and praying about what God was really calling me to do. So I think that's another set of values or something that, when people look at our family, they see that we help other people.
Yep. And I think that's so well stated, especially considering our grandma she's almost 90 years old. Yeah. And she still wants to work.
Yes. Yeah.
But, and she's always helped other people. She will go broke to help somebody.
Yeah.
And so I think her heart and love for other people have made our family what it is in terms of always having a serving spirit.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. So, I think that's a good place to end. Our family is known for serving, and included in all of that is faith, because that's what Jesus did. Our faith and being able to help and give to each other and to one another, and to pass on something greater than ourselves to our children. Yep. We want to pass on a sense of purpose, a sense of faith, and know that it's not just about us, which is what Focus on the Legacy episodes are all about. It's not, when we had kids, we understood that it's not just about us anymore. It's about passing on something greater than ourselves to our children.
Exactly.
You would agree? All right. Well, thank you, Alisha Lou.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. I'm excited. I hope we will have many more of these chats. And again, to our audience, you can find me at petrinaturner.com, where you can go and sign up to receive 7 steps to building and leaving a financial legacy. And you can always find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. So remember that you're not alone. There's always other families, women, wives, that are going through very similar situations that you're going through, but you always have somebody to lean on, God, of course. But also remember that there's a greater purpose in your life. So you have to focus on your legacy. Thanks, and have a great day. Thanks, Lish.
Bye.
Okay, I'm cutting this off. How do I cut it off? Okay, hold on.
Trina, I was like, hey, Liz, hey! I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I didn't even hear it, so you're okay.
Oh, good. Hey, Liz.
Oh my gosh, you should have saw me yesterday. The boys, our heat didn't work, and they came in. Somebody came in yesterday to try to fix it, and the boys, hey, whoa, ah.
Oh my god!
And I'm like running to them. Quiet. Hey, yeah.
Hey, why you got to give them that face though, Trina?
Huh?
Everybody gives their kids the same face.
And then switch it around, be like, yeah, so yeah, have a blessed day.
You gotta turn the animal face on.
All right, Lish.
All right, Trina.
Thanks. I might even put some bloopers in here.
with Prince.
Hey, everybody. I'm keeping that part because that's our life. Who you talking to? Oh my God. What did he say?
He said, you better not post it.
He said what?
He said he's going to defriend you.
I'm going to tag him when I post it.